Once again, the Spincast Cycling Show. Brian Kellison, Brian White, waving. Lisa Vries and Casey Shum waving. Oh, everyone's waving. Hey, double wave. Jazz hands. Good. It's good to see everybody again because I think we're all motivated. I think I have motivation. Brian's motivated. Did you race? We'll get into this Sunday Race Club, right? You raced that. I think I saw you race that. Lee's been crushing it. Been seeing some Zert. Is it Zert or Exert? It's Zert.
Exert.
I think it's Zert.
No, it's definitely Exert.
You definitely. It's like Xavier or Xavier. And Casey's been crushing it, been improving his FTP, SFTP, ZFTP, virtual FTP, I don't know, everything. And he's at the farm next to a little fire pit. But I'm back on Zwift because they released, or it was Wahoo System Cross or X Zwift. So you can do workouts in another training platform. The one that I use is a Wahoo System, is now integrated in Zwift, and you can do that. So I loaded it up and I did a workout the other day.
Did it work?
It worked. It's not good for what I want. It's good enough. But it's not.
I was there for that.
Yeah, I know. Marl was there.
I was reading
Brian
because with your system, you have that 4DP thing where it uses based on your map. It's based on 4 parameters, where Zwift workouts are strictly based on FTP. And from what I understand, system is trying to manipulate your 4DP numbers into a ratio of FTP.
Oh, the quality of the workout is good. Let me preface that by saying the integration with Zwift removes some features that Wahoo System offers. That's where it's not good. The workout is good, and I think you're still applying, like you said, the 4DP stuff. But there are things in the HUD that I prefer in System that I don't get in Zwift. But Zwift has, it's sort of like, oh, you can do a workout and get XP, and you can get, the route badge and all the other stuff. So it's like a legitimate double dipping. But I think I'm going to go back to doing the overlay on top of Zwift. But then there's a cross pollination with the connecting of devices, which is kind of tough. But I'll do a quick little breakdown of what's missing. Is I like the little bars, the bar graph of what the intervals you're going to do. So like I visually like seeing the bar graph. And System actually has a little countdown, like a 5-second countdown of what you're supposed to do next interval, which Zwift doesn't do. They just have the graph or the list of everything, and they don't say like, hey, you need to be doing, you need to be going from 90 RPMs if you're doing workout that has an RPM specific zone to 100 RPMs, so you know how to spin up. Or hey, you're going to go to like lower cadence to do lower cadence work. That is not a seamless integration. It's like Zwift's just taking the workout in, and it's applying its workout sort of thing. So you don't really know the name of the workout. It says Wahoo System, and it cuts off the rest of the stuff. It doesn't scroll. And other than that, that's about it. So yeah, mentally it's okay because you're like, oh, I'm in Zwift. I'm doing a workout. I get to look at the road. But there's some motivational stuff in System that I liked. I liked the gravel one I did a couple weeks ago when I was kicking this off. And it was like, man, I kind of want to do gravel riding because the guy was doing a workout in Gran Canaria, which is like, it looked like Utah, like the Southwest, like Utah, Arizona, like the North Arizona, South Utah, Nevada area, where you're getting like those arches and like the sort of like plateaus, the mesas, like Monument Valley, if anyone knows like old Hollywood stuff. Now,
so
go ahead, and then I'm going to get into the reason why we're getting into this conversation. Here, go.
Yeah, the system integration though. System is the old Sufferfest, right? So
yes.
They started with with video backing for them, right? Like they were
Yeah.
kind of the first ones to do video background workouts. So it's kind of odd that they integrated kind of with Zwift, right? Because that takes away the video aspect. Now, I know they've branched further than that because not everything they have now is video backed, right?
Correct. I did a workout last night, no video. So it was a 2 hour no video endurance workout. I only did an hour and a half because I just didn't want to do it.
Is the reckless speculation that System and Zwift are merging?
No,
with it?
I don't think it's reckless speculation to say that what Casey kind of brought up, but I don't think they're going to merge and they're going to take it over. But I think System is still going to exist. I just think that they're not buying or paying for the rights for the videos, because it takes a lot to buy the video rights from the UCI or the ASO, or usually they buy it from like the people that put on the Giro or they put on the smaller races. And then that gets dated really quick. Like I'll see the same video, like I'll get the same workout and it's like the Tour of Switzerland and I'm racing, which is fun because when I first did it, this is kind of like Rouvy. When you do a Rouvy route that you haven't done before, it's exciting. But if you've done a Rouvy route that you've done before, you've seen the same pedestrian on the side of the road, same crosswalk, blah, blah, blah. The having to pay the rights for the video and the video getting dated are the reasons why I don't think it's going to be as updated. I think the workouts and that fitness team that was doing it, like Neil Henderson, is it the guy who was the main lead for Wahoo, the sports fitness, whatever they did, and then the COVID hit and it kind of closed their shop. That is the reason why I think the System is moving away from the live video stuff, which I think is good for what it's good for, which is good working out. But I like the off the bike stuff. That's really the reason why I use the Wahoo system. But I don't think it's going to be like, hey, we're going to fold this into it. I think it's more of like the Trainer Road integration, the Zert integration, where it's like you don't have to download the workout or somehow get the workout and then load the fit file so that it loads it, or you have to manually create the workout. It seamlessly connects to your account.
I don't see them like doing any more than what Zwift is already doing. Because if they go in and partner with someone specifically like Trainer Road and said, we're now Zwift Trainer Road, that's going to alienate all of the other training platforms, who are
they're kind of agnostic. Zwift is kind of in a good position right now.
Yeah, they're integrated with them all. They talk back and forth. Your workouts get pulled into Zwift, and I think that's probably perfect. But I ran into the same situation with using Xert as what you do with System. Xert has a level of workouts called smart workouts that are based on your MPA or your Weebles score.
Your it's like your fuel cell for like a battery, right?
So what'll happen is it's based on how much your MPA is dropping. So the interval will actually increase or decrease in length based on how fast your MPA drops. So what happens is when you import a workout from Xert into Zwift, you lose that functionality. Like it does sort of with System, but that's the whole reason you use Xert, is because it's like having someone, like you go to the gym and you're doing bench press and you have your buddy, taking some of the weight. That's almost like what the smart workouts are. They're usually ramp downs where the interval goes about 10 seconds longer than what you would normally want to do. But because they're dropping the wattage of the interval, you can push that extra 10 seconds and it's like doing supersets, but you lose that when it goes into Zwift. So I still do the workouts on my Garmin head unit, even if I was riding in Zwift.
Right. I've seen you do that. I remember you used to do RGT with the Xert overlay. And so that's the whole point. Yeah. Well, that's the workout thing. But after the workout, so I completed the workout. Okay. I'm in Zwift. So you completed
the workout and you're on the top of a mountain.
No, I'm
so what
on
do you
the
have to do?
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, I know old Zwift because I'm an old Zwift person. Get the route badge, get the XP. I'm level 91, trying to get level 92, I guess. Not really trying, but I'm like, okay, I'll just complete the route, because you can't like change the route and then open up the workout to then have it remember where you were left off on the workout. Like you have to finish the workout or you start the workout over. So I'm like, okay, I'll climb to the end of this thing and I'll go. And so I'm going down it was the Radio Rendezvous. I think that's the name of the route. And then you're going down and then you get back on the main like Epic KOM. That's right. It's the Epic KOM. Correct. So you turn right and you're going back down to go over the the overhang and all that other stuff. And I'm going, and let's play this video. Play the video. So that's already audio only audience. You're going to have some audio, me complaining, which is typical.
All right.
So we're at 0%, and I've stopped. And I just came down off the radio tower thing, and I'm like,
how
okay.
in the world you just stop?
Like I was
What
pedaling. I was
Why am
cooling
I
down.
stopping?
Yeah. Why am I stopping?
You did stop really
This
fast.
looks like
though.
a downhill. Like, come on.
Yeah. So visually, it's minus 1% now, and visually, it's like, oh, it's a little downhill. Like it looks like I'm going downhill, and I kind of stop. Now the brake light is lit on the time trial bike. So let me ask the experts here. I've stopped again. Or I'm I'm tired. I'm tired, so I'm recovering, right?
You stop really fast.
Yeah.
You're stopping within 20 feet.
Yeah. All right, pause.
Dude, come on.
So I'm asking him, like, I'm noodling to get the XP. Like I've done a huge workout. Now there was no resistance, so it wasn't like I climbed this on reality. But I'm like, hey, I just kind of get the rest of this while I cool down after my workout, and I'm like, hey, just let this thing go so I can just kind of like noodle along. Why am I stopping so fast?
Zwift?
I don't
Casey,
know.
I'm asking you, Casey, because you're the expert.
Well, at first I thought maybe you didn't have the plays paired. So if you don't have the plays paired,
I
it
do.
auto
It says
brakes
gear 8. You see it?
more aggressively. Right, but you're virtual shifting. You've got a steering, so you've got them activated. So I do know the auto braking turns on under a certain speed, but you will coast for a very long time if you're above a certain speed. So I know when that clip first started, you were like 10 kilometers per hour, and within like 3 seconds, you were going 0. So apparently 10 kilometers per hour is under the braking threshold.
So play it some more, and or you can mute it or whatever. But I'll go even further. So you're saying the pairs, having steering and having the Zwift plays paired breaks you faster, or you brake?
No, you normally will coast longer because you have brakes on your handlebars, so Zwift won't auto brake you. The reason for that is Zwift auto brakes pretty aggressively if you don't have the plays paired in that, because people want to stop and change bikes and things like that, and they get frustrated because they coast too long. So
there's a setting, I think, at the end of this video, like the end of the video, I was like, hey, I'm on 50. I looked and I said I was on 50% trainer difficulty. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That actually might help because technically trainer difficulty works on the downhills as well. So you weren't at -1, you were at -0.5.
Right. Okay. So that'll slow me down. So keep going. And this is like a flat spot before you get going again. Right.
Which direction are you headed? Are you headed back towards?
I'm going back to the German village. Not the super steep.
He's going down the forward comm.
Okay, that's what I was. He's headed back toward where the grade is. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that where the grade is? Oh yeah. That's where. Yes. Because I come off the grade. The radar rendezvous goes through the Mayan world, goes up the grade. You turn left. You do the radio tower, and then you turn around. And you go back that way. But I'm going now. So this is -6. And I've pedaled. I'm like, okay, I'm going 36, 37. I'm kind of done pedaling because I've been doing a lot of high cadence. This is a high cadence workout. I'm kind of just like, I'm kind of
coming into the rollers.
Yeah. So these are the rollers.
You're coming into the rollers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna get hit here again. Okay.
So the light, 42, 40. Like I roll through. I'm like, okay, I'm rolling through. Pick up speed again. -10, -11. I know that this might slow me here. This might slow me. This is okay. Now it's like 1, 2, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13%. So I pedaled a little bit. Why am I getting wattage? I'm not even pedaling. You can see me. Did you go rewind that a little bit? Rewind that a little bit. So I'm going down this hill. Sorry for anyone that's just listening.
You didn't pedal at all.
I'm 0 watts pedaling. -10. We're going up the thing. I'm not pedaling. You can see my body in this video. I'm not pedaling. All of a sudden, 12 watts, 30, 79, 92 watts. Pedaling for no reason. I didn't pedal at all. Now I've stopped at 13%. I got to crest it again. And I'm like, okay, cool. So that was the weird thing. I was like, why is it giving me watts? I didn't pedal at all.
It gave you RPMs at the same time, so I'm going to blame that on your whatever your device is, not Zwift.
Okay, the
'Cause
trainer then.
You got
Are you
Yeah, you
kidding
got-
me?
at the same time
Yeah.
you got 92
Minus
watts.
5.
You got Kate.
Oh, yeah,
sitting
there's
here,
me.
stopping.
So
Am I gonna
this
keep
is
going? 4,
Your brake light's on.
3, 2, -7.
You're not
I
going
stopped.
not going fast enough. Okay,
Give
pause
me
the
a
video.
break.
Pause the
fast
video.
enough. Yeah, you're not going fast enough. If
Okay.
you got up over like 10 kilometers per hour, it would have rolled
You
away.
gotta
to,
be
like, it would
kidding
have
me.
sped up.
So you have so in Zwift again. So this is still a thing. This is my biggest thing. This is what I want. I would like
Give me a
for-
break.
Yeah, you can stop. You can stop the video. I'm trying to talk. I did this again. I did this on Alp de Zwift one time where I was like, it was like I did a U-turn and I stopped at -5%. So and then TJ Dickey Lumo, friend of the show, he was saying that you need momentum. How much momentum do I need? And then why do we need momentum? I'm pedaling.
This is Zwift assuming what you want to do.
Yeah.
Is so if they're thinking that if you're under 10K an hour, you're probably trying to stop, because what they're trying to do is make it so that if you want to stop, you don't coast for 20 minutes trying to save your ride. I don't really know.
Can't you just hit menu and stop the ride?
You could. I figure if you're on a -7% downhill, you should just coast and you should just.
Yeah, I'm in -8 right now and not going anywhere. Or no, I am now. Yeah,
You had to
paused
pedal.
it. I had to pedal to get it going at -5. And then this'll go a little bit, but this is my question. This has not changed. Do you think this will ever change?
Should. I mean, but it's been like this for 10 years.
They won't change
Yeah.
it.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is why I have a problem with Zwift. I want to coast.
Dude, we taught you this like 5 years ago.
I know.
Don't stop pedaling.
I know.
Never,
Always be
ever,
cranking.
ever.
ABC.
Never.
Always be cranking. Always be cranking.
Zwift, there's
The
no
ABCs of
relaxing.
Zwift, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always
Still
pedal.
lock in, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. You can play it a little bit more. You can see me coast. But I was so frustrated. I was like, well, can't we just
It-
can't
Well,
you
look
just
how
go?
slow the speed increases, and you're
Yeah,
at
that's
-7.
that's the other thing I was watching was
You're at 18.
It's very slow.
Now you're going slow again. Look,
yeah. I almost thought I stopped, but then
So
it hit,
is the
it hit
threshold-
a steeper gradient.
so the threshold must be like 20 kilometers an hour then.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a
Because
lot.
you're
You're slowing
slowing
down.
Yeah. I'm at 10, 9, -5% downhill, 8, 7, -6. So now the gradient is going down 6 kilometers per hour, 7 kilometers.
Oh,
Now I'm
I
going
gotta
up
pick-
because I got
because
the
it went to
-8.
-8. Yeah, there. I just said it. I just said it on my own video.
You should be doing 50K an hour right now on a -7% grade, coasting.
Yeah. So every other platform, from what I understand, coasts.
Well, here's the problem: is like you're in a race, it's a downhill, you want to relax, so you stop pedaling, and then your dude starts slowing down. Like you can never stop pedaling ever.
Casey might have a little bit more insight, but I do know Zwift in races. I know Kellison freaked out one other time. In races, there is no auto brake. So
Yeah, it is different. It is different in races.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So I can recover in a race.
oh,
So so you can recover in a race, but on just riding around, no recovery, none. You're not
yeah, if
allowed.
you're doing a free ride or workout like you are now, there is an auto brake automatically there. But in an event, that auto brake is completely removed, so you don't slow down as you quit pedaling, going down whatever grade whatever elevation it is. So yeah, so there is a little bit of different physics there, Kellison, and I know that's right up your alley. So we'll give you something else to fuel the fire.
But like doing other, that's the thing is like, it's hard to practice because I have to be in a race. And if you're in a group of people and you're trying to recover, you're not going to be going 10 kilometers an hour. Nobody's going to slow down that much. So the momentum should keep you going, right? But I just want more simulation. I want it to simulate what I'm doing in real life, but it's not doing that. That's Zwift. I got it.
I think I've given up on the whole simulation thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like all these games have their own quirks and features, and they seem to, that's what they like, and that's what they want, and some people like it, some people don't, and you pick a program that fits most of your parameters, and you just go with that.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Biketerra has pretty good physics. And
Biketerra physics is freaking amazing.
Yeah. You both,
as a big
Brian
dude,
and
I
Lee
love
did
Biketerra.
it. Biketerra, yeah, it's really good. And we've done it before. I just missed it on Friday. I think Casey missed it as well on Friday.
Zavaris is over here somewhere, and I'm now trying a breakaway. Like in this is my second event. The day before, didn't realize the OTR hill climbing thing was a social event. I thought it was a race. Well, here I am, the guy racing in the group ride. So I apologize to all those who showed up on Thursday.
You're that guy.
I was that guy because I thought it was a race. So like I am full bore attacking.
Yeah, racing.
Yeah,
you're racing in a race.
So, like at this point, it'd been probably 36 hours since I actually slept, so I'm exhausted. But I wanted to do it. I wanted to ride with people, and I'm not off that often, at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So I just stayed awake, rode, and got into this. Just a few minutes before this, I was like, do breakaways work? Because like I felt like I was in sand. Like I'm learning on the fly, the physics. Like I have no idea. Like outside of me riding around with my little group of 8 bots, I've never done any of this. So this is all on the fly learning. Because that hill climb race, there was no drafting. We went straight up a hill in Tenerife. So I felt like I was in sand. Casey pointed out that the reason is I'm trying to move up as like it's braking in a turn. Like I want to go to apply power. Well, the game is braking me, and I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So that was something that next event I get into, I'm gonna have to pay attention to. And then whenever I would make a surge to close a gap, if I was off to the left or right, I didn't realize it. This is Casey was telling me after he watched it. I was off to the left or right and wasn't receiving as much draft. So I wasn't moving forward like I was expecting, like other platforms. And I said at one point, do breakaways work? Because we had not just me, but like 2 or 3 guys. Felty was another one. I forget the other guy's name, and James Ogleve was also pushing the pace. We couldn't get through. So I kind of figured out, I was like, there is this massive surge from the back of the pack when people catch. So shortly before this, I attacked, they caught, and then I countered my own, catch. And that's how I got this little breakaway going. And it was an exciting race. So this actually was super fun. I went out the front trying to get away. They chased, didn't quite give up, didn't let me go. And I mean, it had your typical get caught at the finish moment. It was actually exciting race, and it was fun.
It wasn't a blob catching you. It was a group of people. They were
trying to catch.
They were trying.
They were pulling. 4.5, 4.8 on the front the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't think the gap got more than about 300 meters the whole time. And
that's,
Brian was 4 to 4.5, and they were pulling 4.5 to 5 behind him, and they finally did it over a few hills
because I
with
fell
a half
off
a kilometer to go. Yeah.
I fell off the group, managed with all my might to catch the group. And the moment I caught the group decided, let's go chase Brian. And then I fell off the group.
Yeah, there was a big group.
As soon as I pulled in, everyone's numbers just jumped up 1 watt per kilo. And I was like, no. Yeah. And then I'm like back.
Yeah, the drafting is. There's a draft indicator on Biketerra. We've discussed this before. I think it should be better.
Yeah.
But
And I brought this
It
up.
needs to be 3 times the size.
Yeah.
It should be a little bit bigger. But
I have a 27-inch monitor in front of me. All right, and I said this. I love how open the world is. You can see the world.
The Terraform is really good. They've really made it really cool.
I gotta make a conscious
really
effort to move my head to find the numbers in the corner. Like with Zwift and my whoosh, it's like a quick little boom, got it. With that, it's like I gotta look and focus.
Yeah, there's a lot more
especially in a
ocular
race,
movement
because
to
you're
get to
watching
where you need to see stuff.
Well, in a race in particular, like if you're free riding, I don't care what the arrow is, but in a race,
that's true.
The arrow number really signifies whether you're backing off or you need to apply more power. And I can quickly look and be like, 40, okay, 40, soft pedal. 50, don't even pedal at all.
Yeah.
Like stop pedaling completely. So you need that number to be able to gauge how close you're gaining. But yeah, like the number is this big. And I can't see it when I was live streaming the ride on Friday. I can't see the arrow number at all when I live stream. And another number is the distance markers. I know, thanks for changing it.
Oh, he changed it after we
meters.
talked about it last week. Yeah.
It needs to be a different color because when do you mean? So what happens is you'll see watch on his video when he is. When you're riding and there's blue sky behind, the clouds are the exact same color as the distance marker. And what happens is you're always around, like you're in the middle. So many times, like right now, where you watch on Brian White's numbers.
Yes, I can see it now. Yeah, for the audio only audience. Yeah, there's the white of the cloud is right behind because it's a translucent background. So what they probably could do is increase the opacity on the rider list,
or make the numbers grayer a little bit, because the names, you can see the people's names.
Put a slider in so people can have their own preference. But that makes sense. That's a good. That's a good
because
request,
it's a virtual world. You're looking at those numbers. You need the
indicator. Yeah, we can't feel like when you're out of the draft, you can feel you're out of the draft, or when you're on the side of the road. When we're in the game, we've talked about this.
Yeah, because you're looking at the draft number. And you're looking at whether you're actually catching the person in front of you or the person behind you is catching. So you're constantly going like, oh, he's 150. Oh, now he's 140. Oh, crap, he's gaining. Now he's 130.
Yeah.
I need to pick it up. Like, hey, dudes, like the 3 guys that I was with, the guy behind was catching us. And then you type in chat, like, he's gaining. We all need to start pulling and taking turns. Otherwise, we're going to have a 4th for the final sprint.
That's why the sauce, which then Training Peaks Virtual sort of integrated that into the game, where they built their own groups. So they have the rider list because those might move a lot, but once you group
the TVV does it awesome.
Yeah, like you have let's say you're in the chase group, that might rotate a lot more, and so the rider list of those 3 people or 4 or 5 people will move a lot. But if you have the little glumped group together, it's much easier to go, okay, there's 1 leader that's 3 seconds up and +1. That means there's 2 people and the rider list is all moving, which is fine. You're like, hey, you can see all the sort of specifics.
You're right.
But having that little, Training Peaks. I don't use Training Peaks anymore. I just am not interested in using it unless it's something drastic and big happens. It's sort of like got a lot under the hood and a lot of development that makes it really, really good, but it's just not something I'm interested in right now. But they've innovated in some of the things, or they've taken some others' innovations and integrated inside the game.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, and shout out to OTR and mass start events.
Oh, yeah.
I raced against 2 other dudes because we fell off and we worked together. Were they in my category? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I had fun and we raced together. Same thing with the guys on the front. Were you in people's categories? Who knows? Casey's in my category. That's the only person that I know who's in my category.
Yeah, we did that the week before.
It doesn't matter.
I was
still
doing
have
an
excellent race experience, not knowing.
Yeah, you're just racing. I was just trying to hang on that first climb on the Cap Formentor ride we did the week before. And I've done other rides where I got just spat out the back, and I'm riding with Matt Gibbs, who's one of the developers, and like one other person. And we were just non-verbally rotating, you know, just like, hey, I'm going to pull for 30 seconds and rotate through. And the physics and the visuals, we talked about this, the sort of like the side to side and the visuals of the avatars on it, regardless of like the sort of like simple avatars, the movement of the avatars is really captivating for me.
Other than the twerking.
There's some twerking, yeah.
So, but Lee pointed out something in some of our conversations this week that I think really enhances that experience with OTR being on Bike Terra is if you get that pack, if you get a flat race like this one was, and you get that pack of 20 or 25 riders, you know, let's say our traditional 1 or 2 category difference in riders, in other platforms, the guy that's 2 categories behind the lead riders in ability doesn't hang on for more than a minute or 2. Where in Bike Terra on the flats, if you get a big group of people, there's a big enough draft, which I feel is realistic when you get that large number of people. You can hang on for 3, 4, 5 miles until they get a steady, solid pace you can hold on to. It's when they get punchy, when somebody like Brian White starts going off the front, that's when it gets hard to hold on. But if you go do that on Zwift, you just can't hold on, period.
No.
Like it just,
I'm out of an A race in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And
it would be great to have it be like those fondos we used to do, those fondos. Remember those ones we did where everyone goes for the segment and then we all group back up? That was sort of like where you could recover. That was, here we go, RGT. We're only 32 minutes in. RGT, 30 minutes in. But like Casey brings up a great point. It's like you can hang, you can dig deep and stay with and recover and churn in the back if you possibly can. And then it's sort of like it's not as punishing. I remember being in Zwift races and getting punished.
I held on for 24 minutes. Yeah, I held on for 24 minutes. And I fell off when they decided to chase Brian.
Right.
And I was like, I'm done. I can't increase the wattage anymore. But I had fun. Because the thing is, my whole goal was hold on as long as possible because I'm getting more of a gap on the guys behind.
Yeah, right. And you're in a competition, and it's like honestly, a little competition.
Bike Terra is the new RGT, for sure.
There you go.
It feels like RGT. It looks kind of like, the more I ride in Bike Terra, the more I like how it looks.
I really like that relates to something I used to always hear early on before I was indoor cycling. When people were scared to go to that Tuesday night racer ride, where they're like, don't go to finish with them. Go and see if you can hold on for 5 miles, and then go the next week and see if you can hold on for 7 miles, right? Like a race like this allows you to do that, where, like I said, the other platforms, it's like you're not going to get another 2 or 3 miles the next week, right? Like you can't gain enough game knowledge and skill in the pack to do that unless you're within 5% from an ability wise, power wise, to hold that. The platform doesn't allow for that kind of learning in tactic and efficiency.
Well, I raced IRL crits, and in my local we had a very small pool of riders. We had provincial time trial champions, we had age group national cross champions, and that's exactly what I used it as a fitness, and was how long can I hold the group, learn the draft, learn race tactics. The first race, 10 laps. Second race, 12 laps. I mean, I think in 50 crits that I ever did, I held on to the final lap 5 times. But, I slowly made it longer and longer. And it's a learning experience. And you don't get that in Zwift. You can't learn racecraft in Zwift when you've fallen off in the first 30 seconds out of the pen.
Right.
And you can't get it from global chat because they'll just rip you, right?
Do we want to get
guys,
into the global
chat?
chat?
I wasn't trying to bring that up. I was just
neutral
saying.
Start.
Yeah, neutral start. I think I was talking about a neutral start with somebody, but go ahead. I don't know.
One of my favorite memories of RGT was I'd show up for Kellison's Tuesday, or it wasn't Kellison's, but he was a big promoter of Kellison, of the Tuesday night.
It was Dan Connolly. Shout out to Dan Connolly.
So
he put it on like every week for like 3 years.
Yeah. So
until RGT was done.
Kellison was at that point, he was a national champion. Like he was super fit. Like that, there was no
age group,
pretty much no stopping him. So one night I show up out of the pen, I basically did 360 watts.
Oh yeah, you smoked me in that race.
Caught him off guard, couldn't catch me.
Totally smoked me.
Oh,
I couldn't catch him.
Yeah.
Totally smoked me, and I was just like, man, I can't catch this dude.
Yeah, didn't play any games.
No, he didn't mess around. He just went, and I'm like, I'm done. I can't get. That's the beauty of it. Like you went and caught me off guard, and I'm like, I can't pull you back.
Yeah, RGT did have that weird start thing though.
Yeah, like the free. It was like atmosphere free. Like it was everyone weighed nothing for like 2,200 meters or whatever.
1,500 watts.
God. Yeah.
And just like rocket.
Yeah, no, it was like no resistance for 200 meters or something like that. And it was. I remember one time where I didn't have. You know, you're in the pin, and you're just kind of cruising, and you're not really paying attention to the your wattage or anything like that. I didn't have my trainer connected, and I was like just kind of cruising. All of a sudden, it was one of those Tuesday nighters. And the gates dropped, and I went, I'm not connected. And I had to connect everything, and then I had to chase back to get to the lead group. But there was a lot of Canadians in those races.
The first nationals in RGT was like a what the F just happened at the start, because people literally went full sprint. 10-second power. And everyone just was like, well, there they go.
Yeah. That's the thing, is the mentality is, since I think Zwift set it up to have, you know, like I remember that, like it was like an old Shane Miller video where it was like, here's how you race in Zwift. And it was like 2018 or whatever. You just ramp up and then they shoot you off, you know? Yeah. And that has just created a mentality of like, hey, since there's no, it's like, it's not even like a BMX race where they have the gate and you're like, you're pedaling. You're like not pedaling in a BMX race. You're leaning on the gate, and then the gate releases. Then you get a little speed.
Someone talked about that. Someone talked about that.
Yeah, that's what
Zero.
Yeah.
So what happens is, no matter what you're pedaling, before when the time hits 0, your watts should drop to 0, and you have to ramp back up.
Correct.
Like
what I would like to see is Zwift make you like time the sprint. That if you hit the power too soon, you stumble out of the gate, right?
Stumble out of the gate, or you get a boost like Mario Kart, and you go beep beep beep, and you hit it right on the top. You get a little boost off the front.
Well, we talked about that
you gotta
last
warn
week.
Him, like with 15 seconds to go, right? Like stop pedaling, prepare for your launch kind of thing, right? And if you launch too early, you stumble, and if you hit it just right, you'll rock
the only
fall
problem
off
is
your bike.
Yeah, the only problem
break
is
your chain.
Everyone
chain
has
brake it says, and then you gotta.
But there's Bluetooth
we talked about that for
and plus. There's no way we can have it. The latency is so bad.
The braking.
But you
out
figure
of
out your
turns.
latency.
Yeah,
you figure out your latency.
Yeah, you can figure it out. Yeah.
Well, most people's latencies are like milliseconds.
Sorry, we're talking over each other. So go Lee.
No, I'll just say we talked about this last week with Bike Terra, where you could time the braking out of turns and potentially get, you know, a boost or get penalized.
Yeah.
Because really, there's no people don't get penalized that are pedaling through braking. You can pedal through the braking. You're just not getting any rest. They should penalize you. Like if it's like red light flashing braking and you're still producing 400 watts, it should just like break you right down to 0 and be like, well, you should have stopped pedaling.
And Matt is considering that. Like he's taking that into consideration.
Well, because Casey and I tried that on Ruby, and if you do pedal out of a braking situation, you make some decent gains.
Yes.
Yeah,
I've done that too.
Fast, yeah.
I think Trinifix does that too.
Remember the old Cade Sport where you could wreck in corners and that?
Yeah.
And that one, even if you turned on, they had an auto braking feature that you could use in free riding, but the way they had that set up, and this is what I'd like to see on all the platforms, was if you braked yourself under the corner threshold, you could go through, like, say it's a 24-mile-an-hour corner. If you braked to 24 mile an hour, your guy would go through there at 24. But if you leaned on the auto braking and let it do the braking, it would brake you to 21. Right? Like if you let the game do it But you actually had to hit a brake in that one, right? Like you were actually slowing. So if you were good enough to slow, so they would turn on auto braking in events where people would be like, okay, this is a no crash event, it's auto braking. But if you were able to successfully brake really efficiently, you could gain 2 or 3 mile an hour through the apex of the corner.
See, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Brian has unicorns on his screen, so I'm zoning out. The audio
Charlie.
only audience, yeah, they're gone. It's some you have some animated GIF popping up.
Absolutely random
Yeah,
thing I
totally
found made
random.
me laugh through it.
It's very good. All right, I did want to touch on this because we're talking about innovation and moving stuff around, or not moving stuff around, but like the way the avatars move around in Bike Terra. We'd get into SRC. Let's get into My Whoosh because I watched a little bit of it. Holly was on. I watched a little bit of her race. Then I watched the actual broadcast before I fell asleep. Brian, I can't watch your because you're on later than what I normally am awake. They still have that side to side movement that's just unreal.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? Any reckless speculation on like them toggling that down? Just so you can watch the racing? My goodness.
The regular speculation is that they are working on it, but the reality is there's been a lot of things they've been working on I've been doing My Whoosh pretty much solid straight on for about 12 to 14 months now.
Mm-hmm.
And there are still some oddities that people have complained about. We know it's an issue, and they're still now. So there have been some things they fixed. Boom, right now, hey, we got this fixed. This is working, whatever. So now I'm at the point to where My Whoosh needs to actually like take care of this backlog of stuff that keeps happening. And the side to side motion is a big thing. Like that's a common thing. A common complaint you see pop up on the Facebook forums and whatnot. So you would think that would be a kind of simple fix. Let's dial this in. I can't remember where it was now. I think somewhere I read that there's a rumor they are working on the dynamics a little bit. So hopefully that dials in that, because they're due for a new world and they're due for a new season pass. So I'm guessing here in the next month, they'll have a big.
This is like the first time we've ever said, please stop giving us new stuff and please fix some of the old stuff.
Yeah.
Can you stop making worlds, My Whoosh? There's too many damn worlds and we don't want side to side movement.
Well, I think correct me if I'm wrong. It doesn't affect your draft. It's just a cosmetic.
It's just a visual.
It's just a visual.
Yeah, that's it. It's just how it looks, and like the salmon swimming up the river and all that. Like it does.
It really took me out of it from like just watching. I was just watching it and I was like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden it was like, because I was looking at the new HUD and there's some other things, and I was just like, man, that is a lot of movement.
Yeah. There's some stuff like that.
That's the penalty My Whoosh pays for having such good graphics, right? We nitpick the avatars while I'm watching behind Brian White, the hips bounce.
Oh yeah, the
6
hips.
inches, you know,
Dude,
like, but
My
but
Whoosh
it's
does look amazing.
and it's only better, right? Like this, I know this upgrade has there's all kinds of drama
I feel bad for
over
My
the
Whoosh.
upgrade, but it looks great. Like holy cow!
Yeah, and this is the thing to where people like Aunt Bev's, they've been using the same iPad forever, and then they can't put together the reason of why we want better graphics or whatnot. They're just mad.
Yeah, I know.
And like, man, My Whoosh, the Facebook, whoever runs that, they have just been getting destroyed with comments about it. And this is the thing, like, all my devices run it fine, and I've got an old ass laptop with a 1050 Ti. Yes, it is a little more than your average PC, maybe from 2018 or whatever. But I tried it on my wife's computer, which is just some Lenovo Yogo pad thing that runs Zwift. It runs My Whoosh regular. I mean, it looks like Bike Terra. It's so dumbed down. Like there's no artifacts or anything. It's like the complete low.
Yeah.
But and I bought that for her in 2019. So I'm wondering, where are these people getting these devices from? Now, obviously, I'm in a situation to where buying new devices and upgrading stuff's not that big of a deal. Everyone's not in that, so I can't just say, "Hey, go buy something new," because you might not.
Yeah. There's also a slice of people that feel that this is like a workout. This is like their sort of like dedicated device, and it's just an older device, and it works for other things. Why shouldn't it work for the other stuff?
So,
and that's where it's kind of, that gap starts to grow from like, hey, we're leaving behind the people that used to do, you know, just like a regular app on their thing, and then that's, you know.
And then within my Whoosh, I will say this recent update, phenomenal graphic wise. They went from Unreal Engine, I think 4 up to 5.3. So like, it's phenomenal the way it looks. Oh, my Whoosh HD.
For the average cyclist or fitness person, that is not a huge thing. But from like the gaming side of people, that is a huge thing.
So, and that was a big misunderstanding, because my Whoosh does a good job of saying, hey, here's an update. You're going to have this coming Tuesday, Monday, whatever it is. Well, they're like, hey, 20 gigabytes, massive, this, that, all this on Monday. Be prepared. And then when you open it up, it's like nothing has changed. Like, there's no new features, there's no new world. So the big hoopla to it, that was another reason I think people were a little more critical.
Yeah, because they did an update that changed the HUD, which they probably could have saved for this. Then it would be a huge. Yeah. That would be part of that sort of like new look, like a big download with a new look and all that other stuff. But they just removing the engine underneath to make the graphics better, right? Yeah. So but the thing is, they're constantly sending out information. Sorry, about to sneeze. They're sending updates out, and the hype is continuing. It's hard to keep the hype constantly going up. Yeah. But they are constantly improving. I just want them to move a little less, or the side to side. If you can find the is this you? No, who's this?
It looks like a female rider.
No, this is me spectating a rider while I swap back and forth between regular and HD version of my Whoosh.
Oh wow, okay, yeah. So for the visual,
like if you look at the road in particular on the HD version, it's individual bricks and cobbles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, with there's the shadows and everything, and the lighting. There's a lot more.
What's funny is I was running both versions on my 5-year-old computer at the same time while running OBS while recording this.
Yeah. And with regular my Whoosh, like the non-HD version, there is nothing on the side of the road. Like you can see right here, this is a good shot. Yeah, so see, there's no people.
People gone.
But there's reflection in that little curb on the regular version. The HD. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Which one's the HD? Which one's the? This is the HD.
Is HD.
Yeah, the shadows and the contrast.
As soon as the people disappear, you're in the regular. But there's actually a few elements in the regular version that are better than the HD version. Like some of the robots have more detail in the regular version.
Oh, it's like Gundam. Oh man, they totally just gleaned Gundam. My complaint too is when I was watching, I think I was watching Holly, because she has like her coach or somebody that was helping her sort of like, do an attack, because they just went through a sprint and she was attacking, make the sprinters hurt. I was trying to see the cross section of like where they were on the road and the profile. I like the profile line, but it's really hard to see both things when they're overlaid on top of each other. I like this better than what they had, but I don't like the mini map being so detailed. It kind of gets in the way of the profile line. That makes sense to people? Anyone agree with that, or they disagree? I don't know. You're racing. You're usually not.
Well, that's the thing too. Is depends on what you're doing. If you're just riding around, I think you want every single little bit of detail because you're using the game to distract yourself. But if you're racing, you don't notice that stuff. Like
I do.
Like Tara
I always look at
is
the
good at racing
profile.
Because all I'm looking at is the draft meter and the meter where like how far behind I am.
Yeah. Well, I've used both versions trying to sort out my Bluetooth drop issues, and I've used, my laptop and my PC with both versions. Well, my laptop won't use HD, but regardless, it wasn't until this update that I realized that the non-HD version didn't have the characters on the side of the road. That's how little, because whenever I used the non-HD version, I was racing. So that's how little I paid attention to anything else. Is I didn't realize the probably 20 rides that I've done on the non-HD version that didn't have all that other stuff there. So like you said, if you're racing, you don't care,
Yeah, if I'm not seeing Lee do that back and forth, I'm not picking out those detail differences, right? Because the non-HD version looks crisp and clear, and all the details look really good. So I look at that and I'm like, well, why would I want it to look any better? But then when you flip the other one in there, you're like, oh, there's so much more stuff. But the non-HD doesn't look cartoony and pixelated and all that, right? So in my head, I look at it and I'm just like, yeah, this looks good enough. Now I want to test the HD on my system because I would struggle to get the maximum 30 in the standard version before. I would get 23, 24, 25, and I was triple dipping with my Whoosh like last week, and I was getting solid 60 FPS now with two other apps open. So I'm like,
my Whoosh.
Yeah, on my Whoosh. So I'm like, it's getting double the FPS that I used to.
Yeah.
And triple dipping at the same time. So like HD might, it's like it performs better now than it did before but I think it's better at using the hardware, right? And that's the advantage you get to using a modern HD engine like Unreal, right? Like I have a good system, but it's a 6-year-old good system. But it's still a high end. At the time, it was one of the best video cards out there. So it's like Unreal's doing a good job of utilizing the resources that it has available, and it got more efficient with that upgrade, from what I can tell.
Yeah, I only made that comparison video because I was on the Facebook page. Because what happens is any person that posts on My Whoosh's Facebook page about having issues, My Whoosh's main response is delete HD and download regular. And a guy came on there and said, well, regular looks like ass. And I'm like, does it? Because I've only used, like Casey, like I've only used the regular, like, and I was like, it doesn't look like ass. And so then I'm like, maybe it does because I've only used the regular version. And to me, the regular version has nice shading. And I'm like, wow, it looks pretty good. But when you do see them side by side, you go, yes, the HD version does look spectacular, but the regular version looks like Zwift. Yeah. Like literally looks like Zwift.
You're using Unreal Engine. Like, I mean, for those out there that aren't technical, I mean, we're talking about one of the cutting edge technology, graphics engines that high level gaming software is using, right? Like, so my Whoosh is trying to max out that HD version to the point where you should need to get one of the top 5, best video cards on the market that have been out for less than 2 years.
They're going after the enthusiast.
To max out HD.
Yeah, they're going for the enthusiast.
Yeah, I want to see ray tracing. I want to see Unreal Engine 5 too can go so far beyond because it's meant for collisions of things happening. A window breaks and all the glass filters and scatters realistically. And that's what, and everything in Unreal Engine can be, manipulated.
And the environment.
The environment can be acted upon. And so I'm waiting for them to even push it even further. Like, right. I want the game to be so well detailed that I have to turn the settings down because it's making it slow. Like that's
the thing. Can you turn the settings down to increase frame rates, or is it locked at 60?
There's 30 and 60. You can choose between the max between that, and then there's different. Like I have my set on ultra,
and
But I remember when I would do, this is before the big download. It was nothing. You could have the maximum setting and it would still be 30 frames per second, but now it's 60 frames per second.
30 was all it would do. Yeah, 30 was all it would do before.
So yeah. All right, we got about 5 minutes. Anything? Any little things?
I want to touch on because I've been doing this a lot and it's been a lot of fun lately. So I just want to kind of give it a shout out. The team time trials. You know, if you have an opportunity to actually go do an effort with 6, 7, 8 like fitness people that like competing together, like it is still one of the most enjoyable races to do when you can successfully pull it off. We had a phenomenal race this week. It was B and C category riders in Zwift. We made a plan, we executed a plan. We had it's a 3.5 minute hill climb in the center of it. 7 of the 8 riders made it to the finish line. We were 20 seconds from winning the day in our category. The team that beat us was, I mean, it's a specially made team that's just great at this because they had a couple of really light C class females that actually were holding, you know, close to 4 watts per kilo because of their weight. But
is this the WTRL or is this the ladder
WTRL?
Thing? WTRL.
Yeah,
okay.
WTRL, TTT. So I've been doing it with Dirty Watts for a long time, and I lead teams from time to time. But we've had a lot of success over the last. I think I've done it probably 3 out of the last 6 weeks, and we've won 1 week, and we've gotten second, I think, in 2 of those. But it's a ton of fun to be able to get out and do that. We ended that race on Thursday night, and one of the newcomers there, she's like, I just did my best power ever for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and 20 minutes in that race. It was my 90-day PR for 20 and 30 minutes. Like everybody in there, like one guy's like, it was my second fastest time up that climb, fastest time on the route, right? Like just those are the events. That's why I paid
it's the most team-oriented thing you can do in cycling, in my opinion.
Yeah. So the hardest part about team time trials is you have to find a group to connect with to get involved. And the Dirty Watts guys are great. They're part of the Dirt team. You know, so if you're interested, they put on 7 or 8, 9 teams every Thursday night. You know, shameless plug for them. It doesn't have to be them. I just know they're a team that's out there every week, and they're putting out 9 or 10 teams. And there is a ton of us that aren't core dirt team people that participate in those team time trials.
This is Dad's inside riding trainers, not dirt gravel people you're talking about riding on dirt.
Dad's inside racing, whatever.
Racing on trainers or something like that. Yeah. That's what
DW is it's a Dirty Watts. It's like a spinoff of them. They're all kind of under the same umbrella. The DW group primarily is a North America evening group that they put together. A majority of them race there, but there's other groups. OTR used to do a bunch of them, and I just learned, I think in chat today, or maybe in Brian's chat on Friday, OTR is not the same OTR in all places. I was like, what? Yeah. Okay, I didn't know that. Like, why would you call yourself OTR in one place and then somebody else comes and calls yourself?
Everyone calls. Right, there's like a bunch of Flam Rouges.
So, like, they were talking, and I was watching the replay of Brian's race on Friday, and somebody said, "Well, this OTR, is it the same as Zwift?" And like, no. And I'm like, wait, it's not? I used to race with him. It's not? Yeah. I didn't know that. But anyway, it's been a lot of fun. I wanted to kind of give them a shout out. I enjoy doing it. Like I said, that's the primary reason why I paid for Zwift again, because that was the one piece of Zwift that I would miss, is not being able to do that. That's a big part of why I still pay for it.
I did enjoy. I didn't like doing it in the Zwift Racing League because we were always 4 riders going against 6 or whatever it was at the first season. We were always not in the A category.
Well, yeah.
But it is fun when you have a group of people of varying fitness and you're all just still trying to work together.
Yeah, ZRL has completely lost its fun for me, but the team time trials, and I haven't done it in a while, partly because I've upgraded to A, and
Mr. Big Time
I've been focused on training. And then the other part is ladder racing. And the ladder racing we were doing, that team kind of fell apart, and I think I was being in Ruby made it harder for us because I'm whatever level 2 within the Zwift racing app. So, but yeah, those two forms are something that I love. It like Casey was exactly what Casey been saying, working together, getting a strategy and executing it. Phenomenal.
Yeah, that's been around longer than everyone in the same pen together and leaving at the same time.
Yeah.
I remember hitting the pairing screen just so you could keep pedaling to stay warm or whatever. And then you had to unpair. Because it was Zwift Racing League. Like you would start. You couldn't cross the line. If you crossed the line, if you crossed the line, it would start your time and DQ you or something like that.
Before they had the conveyor belts, right?
To get the team time trial to go.
And you had the 15-minute delay.
Yeah,
right.
I was
you'd have to sit there and not move for 15 minutes.
You leave. Like if the start time started at 0, the first group goes off, and then your start time, and you would be like 4 minutes later, and you'd have to like sit in the pairing screen, and then people would like undo the pairing. You're moving. Stop.
Well, you'd cool down, so you'd have to like unpair all your devices, so you could at least just pedal and stay warm. And then with about a minute and a half or 2 minutes left, you'd go back and repair all your devices.
We've come
and
a long
stop
way.
pedaling. Like,
I would like to do it again. I haven't done it in a while. We used to do it with a bunch of streamers.
TTT's Bike Terra is a start and might be a thing.
Yeah, I think they were trying to get those integrated in there. That'd be cool. Like bike. I mean, I keep watching behind Brian's screen. There's so many people before he went for a breakaway.
Yeah, James is trying to do something. I think with OTR with the team time trials.
It's been a request for a while. I think everyone needs every team from Training Peaks to Ruvi probably. My whoosh is, hey, can we get team time trial integrated to have it so you can not have to do the stay behind the line. So it's sort of like this honor system, because it does bring a lot of people out from the woodwork to go, hey, I'll do a hard effort for 20, 30 minutes, an hour, just to do some camaraderie.
Well, and I found on Bike Terra with the draft on flat. That's
very awesome, because you can steer and like take a better line, or you could recover.
You could do some strong pulls, and if your team is very organized, I think a platform like Bike Terra would very well reward a very organized team with some serious speed.
Yeah, there would be a lot of the efficiency gains for similar power, and a place like Bike Terra could be huge, and there's something to be said in those types of things. And I think a lot of us that have raced like this have experienced this. Like if I line up in a race with Brian White, right, with Brian and I will get into a race, or Brian Kellison, if we got into a race and we're kind of working together, I'm going to be willing to dig deeper to not let one of them down, right? Even in a scratch race, if we're kind of racing as teammates, and team time trials is kind of the same way. You get into the and I focus on this as a captain of these teams too. Somebody will be like, well, I'll do a hero pull and drop, and I'm like, no, I want you to stay here, pull and stay. And they're like, well, I can't pull. I'm like, but being in the group helps.
Yeah,
it helps connect the dots. It's a rung in the ladder.
We're going.
And people push hard that way.
We're going past, but I need to bring this up because it just popped in my head. If we can get team time trials, I remember we used to do it in RGT, another RGT reference. The physics in Bike Terra, the physics in Ruvi, the physics in other ones would be different than the blob. The pack dynamics are so prevalent in Zwift that if you did it in Bike Terra, and because you can get in a good pace line, rotate off, it's not let's bubble up and the first two are the spear, the whatever the tip of the arrowhead are the 1, 2, 3 riders are probably the best, and then everyone can blob behind. But if you get in a really good line on Bike Terra, you're probably screaming fast, and it's like, hey, if you can't hang, I know you would want them there for camaraderie, but like, hey, if you can't hang, you're going to slow us down. We're better without dropping you, which is like a more of a pro setting where it's like, hey, the sprinters will go and they're like, we're not worrying about GC time. We're just going to go and we'll do a huge pull, peel off and you have, another 10 kilometers to go. But the top speed has been going because of the physics in Biketerra. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, because like in Zwift, it's still more efficient to string out and do that nose to tail for 8 guys. That is the most efficient, but it's like 2% more efficient to do it that way in Zwift. In Biketerra, it's going to be like 20% more
it's going to be a
efficient
lot.
to do it like that, right? Like, so you're right. Like that deliberate line, like you see in the pros, is what you would need in Biketerra. And it would be great if you could get that dance right with a group of people.
I think we need to just try it without a race, just for fun.
All right, we going to do this?
I got the 3-man breakaway on Biketerra last week, and it was phenomenal. Once you figured it out, right? How part of it is that nuance of when do you jump when you come off the front, right? When you back off, let them pass you. When do you accelerate to jump back into line without getting too far off the back? And like all of that, once you figure that out, it was fantastic. That 3-man rotation, it was great.
All right. On that note, as we watch the hips rotate again on Biketerra.
I got one last thing.
Oh, goodness. Here we go.
Just, if you remember a couple weeks ago, I had said that I won the Strava challenge for the Everesting, the grand prize. I have actually been able to defer that trip till next year.
Awesome.
Congratulations. There you go.
And the cycling companies that does it in China and Tibet, they were best. Yeah, no problem. So I am the...
Look at him smile. Look at his smile. Can't even see it in the audio only. Look at his...
That's an impressive win.
Oh, yeah.
So like I'm going on a 10-day trip with 9 riding days around the mountains in the area of Mount Everest. And at one point we'll ride up to base camp. I guess there's a paved road that rides up to base camp of Mount Everest. So.
All right. I'll leave it. We'll wrap the show. That's congratulations.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We'll leave it on this. Maybe you can answer it next week. Are you going to take a boat at any time to get there to do your ride?
I will have to.
Okay.
I'll have to
do a boat. Find a little rowboat. You'll just row like across.
What I really want to know is how big of a vacation is he having to do with the family to get permission to go to Everest?
This is going to be a Disney. You're going to have to.
This is going to cost you.
Years of family vacations to be able to go by yourself.
It's going to be like in retirement. Remember that time I let you go to Everest?
Oh, yeah. Exactly. All right, everybody. That's enough. Enough of us. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Hey, see you guys.